Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and get your Blitz shoes ready because today we're going to be talking about Moonstone's character unlock event To the Moon, which is going to be starting on Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Man, yeah, it's not going to be as bad as the Kang event, but there's still going to be a lot of blitzing that you're going to have to do. But don't worry, I'm here to help you, guide you through this voyage together so that, we can get a 3 or 4 star Moonstone completely free to play. And yes, I said that right. 4-star Moonstone is possible, but there's going to be a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of work that you're going to have to do if you want to get there. But before we go over the math today, I want to give a quick word and shout out to today's video sponsor. Hey everyone, today's video is sponsored by Eternal Evolution, and I want to introduce you to this new sci-fi idle RPG that's been getting a ton of hype recently. So I want to share with you my top 3 reasons that you should play this game. Number 1, they have amazing high-quality character designs within 3 separate factions, all with their own unique skills. And honestly, the range of characters that exist in this game are just completely out of this world. It really makes the game more enjoyable when you have top-notch artwork to look at. Personally, my favorite so far is Bailey Hudson because, boy, he looks like a complete badass with that sword of his, which kind of looks like a lightsaber, and I love the animations that they have in this game. There are also tons of bosses and game modes to play, and honestly, compared to Marvel Strike Force, it is actually much easier to play being an idle RPG. You can auto-battle when you like, but also have a degree of freedom if you want to during battle. They also have some really great PvP battle modes that really showcase this aspect of the game, which makes it good for those who don't have a lot of time but still want to engage and have some fun when they play. And number 3, this game is absolutely free-to-play friendly. There's all sorts of newbie events, and so much so that I do want to let people know that if you go and complete the Grand Ceremony task for the game, that you will be able to get yourself a SSS hero Ravina absolutely free. And this will help you dominate your way through the start of the game, not to mention she looks really amazing. So, what are you waiting for? Download now using the QR code on the screen or in the link in the description down below, and I'll see you there in Eternal Evolution. And I want to thank Eternal Evolution for once again sponsoring this video. But before, we get into all this, there's some things that I want to go over really quickly, and that's going to be all of the stuff that you could have hoarded for this event going forward. So it's an ISO 8 energy and blitzing and cosmic crucible event. So I'm trying really hard not to touch my resources, really, because I got hit by the claim all bug the other day, and I got super pissed. I posted it in my Discord channel, and I got really angry. Like, I almost wanted to chuck my phone until I realized I had a new phone and shouldn't do that. But I'm sure a lot of you have also kind of been hit with that before too, and it's frustrating. So anyways, gonna try not to touch my screen. 480 ISO 8 energy from the early strike pass, if you could do that. Obviously, there's all of these, ISO 8 packs, which is going to really help push you towards further points on this milestone. And it may actually, because I don't know who's hoarded what or how much of what you've hoarded, this may help you get to that 4-star Moonstone a little bit easier than what's going to be recommended in this math as well, because I can't account for everyone's hoarding. Also, hopefully, you also hoarded the BKT Bash, the milestone stuff here. A lot of people ask me, is this going to stay over until the event starts? And it will, it should, because if you look right now when I'm recording this, it's still got the review for Return to the Shadows and Historic Encounter and the old charging station and all, like this charging station. So honestly, it should, because it's only an extra day from when that event that ends on Sunday, and then the event starts on Monday. That's like 24 hours, and honestly, you should obviously don't wait too long to claim it. But I mean, the fact that Historic Encounter is up, and I think it's been over for well over 2 days, means that that's still going to be staying up there. So don't worry about that. And any other way that you can get ISO 8 energy, because that's really going to help you move forward further in this event. Cores, if you want to, of course, as well, which is going to be really big. So before we dive into the math, of course, I want to do a subtotal kind of recap of to where we are with the month-long event. I know this anniversary has been one of the trashiest, shittiest, month-long event that there ever has been, but I want to go over it anyway. So the subtotal is looking actually pretty good. We're actually at 626,000. We're at a surplus of 70,000 points, we might be a little bit more. So this is without including the Strike Celebration event, which is the next one to be on March 25th. Now, this isn't, don't worry, this is not saying that you should have 626,000 points. This is saying that with all of the known information from the blog posts and everything that we have so far, there's only a couple of squares missing, and that's the Strike Celebration and the last Free Claim Friday, which I'm going to assume is 5,000 points, just like the others have been. And you know, one other thing that isn't, a few other things that aren't actually in here is the leaderboards. There's a few leaderboards that had payouts for event month-long currency. I kind of forgot, and it's variable. So you could actually be a little bit higher than this. Though it does include you clearing Charging Station, which I know not everyone does, and I was only able to clear all but the last milestone for Charging Station, so I'm not going to have all of the points here. This is just if you did do all of that. For Historic Encounter, which we did get those 25,000 extra points towards that, there is still a possibility that you can clear this event even if you didn't get all the points from Historic Encounter, including the event item. That event was worth 94,000 total. We are at a surplus of 70,000, so with the Strike Celebration, hopefully that's like in the 100k range, so you might still be able to make up for the War Helicarrier if you didn't manage to get that event item in Historic Encounter, even after the 25,000 that we were given for that event. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But let's get into the math for To the Moon. It's really important here. So again, ISO 8 energy, earning Blitz credits, that's important, and Crucible, okay? We'll get to the Crucible part because that's going to come down later. So 180,000 is the milestone points. This is Whalestones. A lot of this is Whalestones. Just look at the table once again. If you haven't taken a look at this, you know, you basically need to get to this point here for an unlock, which is 51,800. This is milestone 22. And then if you want to get to the extra 50 shards, which is 150 shards, that's going to be milestone 27. Milestone 28, 29, 30, which is, you know, my head's blocking the way. These three last lines, they're Whalestone, so I wouldn't really bother about that. So don't be too concerned. Now, if you do want a good chance, though, at getting Moonstone's 150 shards, you are going to want as many characters of the Masters of Evil at Gear Tier 16 as possible. So the only character that I have left to do is Absorbing Man. I think he's absolute trash. I think he's a shitty character. He's a terrible tank. And I don't like the idea of having to take him to Gear Tier 16. However, I feel that to get an extra star rank on Moonstone is a means to an end. So if you're able to do this, I actually recommend it. Also, it's going to cut back on a little bit on how much blitzing that you're going to have to do. So if you've done all the necessary hoarding, if you have a lot of the ISO 8 packs and extra ISO 8 energy, and you can do this, then you have a good chance of getting a 4-star Moonstone or 180 shards completely free to play, which is going to include the leaderboard because there is a leaderboard functionality on this event, and so that's really important because that's where you're going to bridge the gap because we have 5 shards already, so you need 175. So 150 from the event, yeah, you're going to need like top 1%, top 2 to 10%, depending on if you've done any core or something like that, you know, to bridge the gap there on Moonstone. I've also heard that somewhere down the line, we're going to be getting extra Moonstone Shard, Masters of Evil shards in general. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but even if you don't get it here, that may not be the end. So don't be super concerned about that. So let's get back to this. There's 44,000 emblems in this event, plus the event item. The event item you get at 33,800 milestone points. So some people get confused. It's the milestone points. When I reference 33.8, that's milestone points, even though this is event item points. It's not how much it's worth, it's where in the milestone that you get it, okay? That confused some people before. You need to get 51,800 to unlock Moonstone and 78,800 to get the 150 shards, which is already said there. I'm not going to type it again. Then you get 1,000 points for using a Masters of Evil in Crucible. This is all 5 of them times 3 battles. That's a limit of 15k. You get 2,000 for Gear Tier 16. This is a lot of points, actually. So if you do that with 5 of them times 3, you get 30,000. That being said, yes, I get it. This is the Moonstone Unlock event. You're probably not going to have Moonstone unless you cored for her or whatever you did for her. So my math is going to be with the assumption that you have all 4 of the other characters and not Moonstone. So I'm not going to include Moonstone in the math. If you do, it's going to make it even easier for you to obtain a 4-star for her. But for everyone else, you know, there's going to be a little bit more work involved. 1 point per Blitz credit and 4 points per ISO 8 energy. Now, this is all the stuff that you could have done, that you could get from the Blitz credits. So, daily objectives, you get 250 per day. So, for 5 days, that's 1,250. You might be able to squeeze an extra day in there because of the claiming and depending on where your time zones are and things like that. For the sake of this, I've only put in 5, but you might be able to get 6. Character blitzes, you get 2,610. That's going to be your Monday to Friday character blitz. 2 quick rumbles, so that was this past one that I just showed off, and then another one on Friday that you should be able to claim, so that's 3,000 each, so that's 6,000 points there. And then the orb assault blitzes, do save that as well. That's going to be launching later on today on Sunday. Save that, don't claim it. There's still a fair bit of points. 2160 is nothing to scoff at, so save that, claim it when the event goes live on Monday, and then you'll be ahead about 12,000 points just from blitz credits earned from the blitzes and daily objective claims. Unless there's some other ways that you're able to claim blitz credits that I'm unaware in random inboxes that I missed, I don't know. But let's talk about the ISO 8 energy. So you get 360 from your daily time. It does refresh a little bit faster than regular standard campaign energy. You get 240 from free refreshes. You get a free ISO pack every day. So that's like bare minimum. You're going to get 1 ISO pack and up to 3 more. That's going to be 360. So that's a subtotal of 1080 ISO 8 energy if you're doing all the extra core refreshes of the 50 category or your packs, whichever. And so that's going to give you about 4320 because that's times 4. And times over 5 days, 21,600 points. Now, you could get more. You could get much more. More packs equals more points. So I have 500 packs. That's 10 refreshes. So that's a lot that I'm not having to spend on power cores. So you could then compensate by using a little bit extra power cores if you saved those packs, or just core more later on. And so any extra saved ISO 8, again, like the ones I showed in my strike pass, any of that, all of that will help towards this to get you more points. So, I don't know how much you've done. You could have saved about 1,000 ISO 8 energy randomly, and then that'll get you an extra 4,000 points, which is a fair bit. So all of this is going to help you get through a little bit further and a little bit easier. So when it comes to Crucible, we're going to be assuming that you have 4 Masters of Evil, and you're going to do this every match. So that will get you 12,000 points. That's 1,000 per character, so 4,000 times 3 matches, that's 12,000. I'm not going to include Gear Tier 16 in this scenario because this is quite variable, and I'm not sure what people have. So for this instance, we're talking about 4 Masters of Evil, Crucible attacks, and how much you're going to need a blitz to make up for the rest to get the Moonstone unlock, okay? So 6,180 points is what you need left over after adding up all of the stuff above, the 12,000, the 21,600, and the other 12,000. And that's going to be using 15 average blitz credits per win. That means that you do need 412 blitz wins on average, and that's about 10 and a bit blitz rotations for the whole event. Now, per day, actually, you know what? It's even less because I forgot to add that up. So I fucked up the math there a little bit. So I just changed it right now. So that's really good. It's only just over 2 rotations per day if you've done everything above. What that means is if you haven't done everything above, you might have to blitz a little bit more. So again, this is kind of variable because I don't know who's done what or who has what. Hopefully you have all 4 of the Masters of Evil unlocked so that this won't be too challenging for you. But for those who have done everything I just talked about, it won't be super hard. 2 blitz rotations is really not that difficult. So now if you want to go further though with the 150 Moonstone Shards, and now that I think about it, maybe this is also divided by 3. I should change that. Okay, so let's say, for sake of argument, that you have 4 Masters of Evil at Gear Tier 16. That's going to give you 24,000 points. That's a lot if you have 4 of them. Okay, so for the below scenario, we've added that in. I can also take it away here too, which we're going to do. So that means the remaining points that you need to get the 150 Moonstone Shards is about 9,180. Not a ton. Again, divide by 15, that's about 612 blitz wins. Now, that divided by 40 wins per rotation. Hopefully you're being able to do that. I think it's like 46 teams now. That's 15 and a bit rotations, or 3 per day, 3 and a bit per day, which is not a lot. Actually, you know what? That still deserves a green, okay, for just now. And then we're going to change this. So what if you don't have 4 Masters of Evil at Gear Tier 16? Let's say you have 2. Let's say you have 2. Then you get 12,000 points. That's where things get a little bit trickier. And they're worth a lot of points. So just changing those 2 characters that you don't have at Gear Tier 16 changes the blitz rotations per day to 7. Okay, this is really hardcore, right? And so let's change this to 3. Maybe you have 3 of them. I have 3 right now. 5 rotations, 5 and a bit rotations per day. Okay, so you can see where these make a pretty big difference. If you've done everything above prior to this, you know how much more that you're going to have to do in order to get those 150 Moonstone Shards. So if possible, I honestly recommend that you do all 4 characters, at least to Gear Tier 16, if you want a good chance in a less stressful way of getting the 150 shards for Moonstone. Otherwise, you're looking at a lot of blitzing. You can do it with 2. It's 7 or more rotations unless you have really good luck. And if you have 1, honestly, I'm thinking that maybe it's probably not going to happen. Over 9 rotations, which is pretty much not going to happen. So at a bare minimum, you need 2 characters at Gear Tier 16. But personally, I would recommend 3. Or 4 if you're able to do that. So yeah, that's how things are. But of course, you know, it's not too bad if you want to just get the unlock. It's not that bad. It's very easy to just get the unlock. But if you want to push those extra 50 shards, you're going to have to put in a little bit more work to get those. So these tables are going to be available on my Discord channel, as always, about 6 to 8 hours after the release of my video. So look forward to it there if you want to share it with your alliance, or if you just want another copy for yourself. Don't worry about it. It will be there. And that's going to be the end of this video, though, everyone. And I just want to give another quick shout out to the QR code here for Eternal Evolution. If you get a chance to give the game a shot, then please do so, because it's actually not too terrible to play in your spare time. So that's it, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you all later. Boilon signing out, and good luck on Moonstone in your blitzing.